Did you know that in 2022, 1 in 36 children was diagnosed with autism? Here's how Rosie King, a real person with autism spectrum disorder, explained it. No matter how hard I try to learn from other people or copy what others are doing, I can't quite get it right. It's like living in a foreign country and not knowing the language. Autism is a topic that has touched many of us, either through personal experiences or by simply hearing about it. And that's why you're here, to learn more. In this video, we will help answer some of the most frequently thought about questions about autism spectrum disorder, and along the way, we'll also help clear up some myths. First things first, let's answer the biggest question on your mind. What is autism spectrum disorder? Let me explain it with a simple analogy. Imagine people's minds are like cars, and each person has a unique type of car. Most of us drive regular cars like sedans or hatchbacks. That means most of us have what scientists like to call neurotypical brains. In other words, our brains are wired pretty much the same way. This allows us to communicate and understand each other. Now, think of an autistic person's brain as a variety of different cars. That's not the standard issue. Their cars are different but still work well on the same roads, maybe a sporty version or an SUV. They can get around like everyone else, but their cars might have some unique features. You encounter cars with more significant differences as you go along the spectrum. Some have unique features that make them good at specific things, for example, off-road capabilities or super fast speed. Others might have a completely different design. In the same way, each person on the autism spectrum is unique with their own set of strengths and challenges. Someone on the autism spectrum may have difficulty with communication and social interactions, restricted interests, and repetitive behaviors. And they might have trouble functioning effectively in school, work, and other areas of life. So now you might be wondering why it's called autism spectrum disorder. Am I right? This spectrum represents the diversity of characteristics and traits individuals with ASD may exhibit. It's not a one-size-fits-all scenario. Instead, it acknowledges that people with autism can have vastly different experiences. On one end of the spectrum are individuals with extraordinary intellect focused on a specific area, otherwise known as high-functioning autism. On the other end of the spectrum are individuals with severe learning disabilities and behavioral challenges. In the middle are individuals with average IQ and mild to moderate learning disabilities. By understanding the spectrum, we can create environments that embrace everyone and support each person's unique needs. This inclusivity is vital for ensuring that individuals with ASD can thrive and participate fully in various aspects of life. Another question many people have about autism is, what causes it? The answer is that it's unclear what the direct cause of autism is. It's a work in progress, and answers to this question continue to be explored. However, scientists have found links to genetics, biology, and environmental factors that seem to contribute to the development of autism. So far, scientists have been able to isolate a few risk factors that can increase an individual's chance of being diagnosed with ASD. These include being born a male, having older parents, and having other genetic conditions like Fragile X syndrome or Down syndrome. Children as young as 18 months can be diagnosed with ASD, but in some circumstances, individuals are not diagnosed well into their adulthood. In one study, they found that girls are diagnosed with ASD at a significantly higher age compared to boys. This is because girls experience ASD traits differently from boys, and because up to now, most ASD-related research has been done with males. Now, let's talk about the early signs of autism spectrum disorder. If you're a parent of a child between the ages of 2 and 4, you've most likely experienced this. Maybe you know what I'm about to say next, the autism screening test at the pediatrician's office. You know, when the pediatrician hands you a list of about 15 or 20 yes-no questions to answer. Questions like, does your child respond to their name? And does your child look when you point to an item in the distance? Turns out, these questions help doctors figure out if a child has ASD. Some of the early warning signs of autism include things like preferring to play alone, aversion to touch, sensitivity to loud noises, delayed speech, avoiding eye contact, ignoring dangers, not responding to their names, hysterics, and tiptoeing. By spotting signs early and understanding them, families and educators, as well as healthcare providers, can team up to make environments that suit the unique needs of individuals with autism. This helps their development, inclusion, and success in different parts of life. Now, we're going to switch gears a little bit and clear up some common myths about ASD that are out there. If you're someone who isn't too familiar with ASD, you might have heard some of these and possibly even believed them. So let's clear up some of the misconceptions. Here's myth number 1. Everyone with autism is the same. This one is at the top of the list because this one is something a lot of people believe. But this is actually far from the truth. Autism, as you know by now, is a spectrum, like a giant rainbow with lots of colors. Each person with autism is unique, just like every fingerprint is different. No two people with autism are the same. Myth number 2. Autism is a disease. It's actually not a disease. As its official name suggests, it is what's called a disorder. The difference between a disease and a disorder is that a disease is a medical condition with an identifiable cause. A disorder is a group of symptoms that disrupt normal functioning but do not have a known cause. The difference between someone with ASD and someone without ASD is the wiring in their brains. Let's just say that people with ASD have a unique operating system that's not OS or Windows, like most of us. Myth number 3. People with autism don't want friends. It may be difficult for people with ASD to develop connections with other people. That's not because they don't want friends. Rather, they have a hard time understanding people without ASD. And people without ASD have a hard time understanding someone with ASD. It's really a matter of incompatibility. In fact, people with autism can have incredible friendships, just like any other person. Myth number 4. Autistic individuals are all geniuses. Here's the thing. While some individuals with autism may have super cool talents, not everyone is a genius. There are a lot of high-functioning, highly intellectual people with autism. Elon Musk, a multi-billionaire businessman, is a great example of someone like this. Autism affects people differently, so their strengths can vary a lot too. Myth number 5. Autism is caused by bad parenting. This actually came from an earlier belief that a refrigerator mother who was so cold and uncaring towards her children, it caused severe trauma that caused autism. This theory was debunked a long time ago, and we now know that bad parenting is not the cause of autism. By now, you can tell that having an autism diagnosis should not be looked at negatively. Instead, what's important is to realize that being neurodivergent is not a deviation. It is simply a variation of the human experience. It's also worth mentioning that autism cannot be cured. However, there are ways to help individuals learn to live with ASD and help them adjust to living in a world that they might not understand right away. It's like this. In a world full of neurotypical people, they are neurodivergent. However, many people with autism can be employed and lead a productive life, helping to contribute to society. With the proper support and help, they can do amazing things. So let's ensure everyone gets the tools they need to shine and be their best selves. It's about celebrating what makes each person unique and helping them reach the stars. Hopefully, this video has helped you understand autism a little bit better, and more importantly, understand people with autism better. If you know someone who can benefit from learning about autism, please feel free to share this video with them. The more educated and informed we are, the more tolerant and accepting we become as a society. Don't forget to support our channel by clicking the like button before you go and leave a comment below about your experience with autism. As always, remember to spread loving kindness to all beings around you and be the change you want to see in the world. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.